Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
We are live. What is up, everybody? How are we doing? Welcome to Thursday night. I know that's not saying much, but I am going to double check myself here. All right, cool. We can hear me. Just wanted to do a quick sound check because we all know how great I am at technology. The Chicken Man is running a few minutes late. He'll be here in a moment. But in the meantime, what's up? D. Robinson, you officially are first. Congrats. That's big. D. Bird, it's a night for the D's. It's going good. It's going pretty good. Been a busy week. Been a very productive week. Paper Trail. Man, I talk about corporate slang. Haven't heard that one in a while. Maurice. Paisiano. Dash. All right. So what is good for everybody tonight? I am drinking Captain and Coke because I'm apparently still a college child. And I like it. Although it does screw with my sleep. I don't sleep very well because of the caffeine. And I don't really want to do any so that caffeine-free stuff because then there's no sugar and what the hell's the point? Also, they didn't sell it at Sheetz last night when I went. Paper Trail's an accountant. That's fun. I gotta go with them. David, thank you. I'm glad to hear that, man. If there's ever anything you need, I'm your guy. Any news on the McFarlane front? Hold on. Why are you frozen? Hide. Sorry, gang. There we go. There we go. It was frozen for a moment. The McFarlane front, no, they for lack of a better word, they are not what you call an organized and well-run company. I'll say that. I don't even mind saying that. So I got a email like 2 or 3 weeks after that video that just said, hey, do you want to interview Todd about his current Kickstarter campaign? And I left it in my inbox for like 2 weeks. Because I was like, man, what the hell do I want to do with this? Like, I don't want to like sell out, but it's like, I also don't want to ambush them. So I finally decided I was going to do both. I was going to do like a really nice formal interview and then ambush them at the end. But of course I was too late in replying. But they said they'd reach out to me next time there were media opportunities. Because in their mind, I am just a YouTuber, not a store. Story of my life. But I mean, there's a reason I don't get McFarlane first very often. Like, I do want to make a video soon on toy distribution because everyone's always like, I saw X at Y store. Why don't you have it? And yeah, I kind of want to make a video on that. But with McFarlane, it's really easy. Everyone's probably going to have it before me because they don't give a crap about me. That's what it comes down to. I saw somebody say, who was that? Nick said that Rob Liefeld does a perfect Todd McFarlane impression. I can do a perfect impression of Rob Liefeld doing a Todd McFarlane impression. Hey guys, Todd Father here. Got a new toy. It's coming out in stores soon. Got to see Target. Got to have it at McFarlaneToys.com. Go back to Kickstarter. It was something like that. It was pretty funny though. No, there are no Hot Toys on my shelf behind me. Those are all 12th scale figures. Kind of live in that 6-inch 112 scale. I have one Hot Toy, and it's the Mandalorian. Really want to sell Hot Toys, but haven't been able to pull that one off. Not a big Henny guy. It could be because I drank it during my bar manager phase, wherein I drank a little bit of everything. In fact, as I think about it, I can't come up with a taste in my head to differentiate Henny versus like brandy. Yeah, can't do it. Can't do it. Too many years in running those bars. Considering I didn't have a drink till I was almost 22 years old, I've been really trying to make up for it. Still no Chicken Man. Germany, what's up, man? I don't know. The Hot Toys are cool, but there's something about the scale I don't love, right? Like, I do and I don't. Like, I love the extra details you can get, and the same goes for Mondo. Like, I just really love how cool they look. But the other piece of it is they just have this doll-like thing for me, and it drives me nuts. And I don't know. Maybe I just was raised on the wrong scale. I don't know. Have I got my hands on any? So I was selling Joy Toy Warhammer at the beginning, and it was a train wreck. Like I was spending all of this time building listings, and then nothing would sell. So I completely jumped off that train, and I just haven't even tried. Now, Toy Snowman keeps telling me I should be on that train, and I'm not. Maybe I need to get back on it. I don't know. I do have the Joy Toy Turtles coming. Like, obviously, those are pretty sweet. Big fan of those. I got a set of those for myself. Nick, that's funny. Well, I think that locally, it's probably really hard to sell hot toys like in a brick and mortar, because that's a big purchase. Like, who walks into like a collectible store and is like, hey, I'm going to do this? But online, I think it's different, especially since they all the good ones at least, seem to sell out. What else we got? Have I ever been to Oktoberfest? No, but I've drank in Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Probably not the same thing, but what are you going to do? You have a large AT-AT. How do you tell what release it is? Look at the feet. Often there's a year stamp, and then you can kind of go from there. Depending on the detail, that's your other obvious thing. Take a look and see if there is any markings on the legs like dirt, so you can differentiate, is it a Endor AT-AT or a snowy AT-AT? Good thing to do. Masterpiece Transformers. I got lots of those. Those are pretty sweet. Although I gotta say, I know most people are not a fan of me saying this, but I think I like 3-0 Transformers more than anything else, even though they don't transform. So, with that being said, we need to bring our guest on since he's here at last. He is the Mountie of Canada, the Toy Mafia of Quebec, probably on the FBI's most wanted list, the Chicken Man, Amir from Toy Snowman. And he's turned around, and he's got his vino.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Just
You don't have enough. Did you got your chicken?
more relaxed today.
Where's your chicken?
I ate it, obviously.
I put a bucket on the thumbnail just for you.
You're gonna. I didn't want to eat like KFC live on television. Yeah.
Why not? I could have then given you all sorts of KFC stories. Maurice, your turtle ship. I don't know where you got them from. You didn't get them from me. Mine are somewhere probably, what do you think? Like a little bit into the Pacific Ocean by now? They're on the water. I know
be
that.
on a boat. Maybe on a boat.
Here's the thing, everybody. Here's the thing. All that stuff that's on a boat might be there for a while. We could be going into toilet paper strike 2.0. Like, this could get ugly. I don't know. Any chance of you getting that exclusive Venom Marvel Legends? I would say the chances are between 0 and none. But you never know. Every once in a while, I get a phone call and they're like, yo, we found this pallet. Do you want it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll take it. Whatever. Oh, saying hi. Let me finish my chat here. Hi from the Netherlands. I hope you'll ship international soon. Very soon, hopefully. Greetings from
Took off my internationals.
Yes, that's because you live in Canada. You only have like 7 people there.
No, I turned it off actually.
Oh, you did? You turned it off. Why? What was happening?
I only ship now to the US and Canada.
What happened?
I shipped out some of the Valaverse vehicle.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Vanguard.
The Vanguard. So I shipped a bunch to Australia, England, France, and obviously that's gonna hit customs, and you have to pay customs when it receives. So all these people were like, "Oh, I was surprised. I never expected customs." I'm like, "Do you never order things online? Like, if you order something above like $300, $400, and you're in Europe or Australia, it's gonna hit customs." And so a bunch of them like bothered me and like sent messages to Ned like, hey, this is not responsible. You should let us know that we're gonna pay customs. I'm like, each country has its own customs. And I don't know, I took a loss on shipping on each one of those orders.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why people from Australia were ordering from me because we were the cheapest to ship to Australia. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to ship to international. That's in Europe and abroad. At least people in the US, US I can ship over 800. It's still free and there's no customs. But the rest of Europe and Australia, I just turned it off. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this anymore.
So I know if you're shipping EMS, which is basically using Canada Post, USPS, their fee, like the cost up front is much higher, but they cover all the customs. But I'm still.
We don't have EMS. We have here tracked packet.
I don't know. It's all very confusing. It's hard enough to master distribution in our two countries. Yeah, it's hard enough. I mean, you would think Mexico would be easy. It's not far. We could just throw it right over the fence that's not there. It should be pretty easy.
Fraud, though.
What's that?
Unless it's fraud.
No, because everyone's trying to go the other direction, and we'll just be throwing packages in. Everybody else is trying to get out. It's a totally opposite situation.
But yeah, I don't know. So I just got burnt it must have been like 5 or 6 Vanguards. And I'm just like, that's way I can't believe that there's that many people who don't realize that you're gonna pay customs when you're living in Europe. Like these people definitely ordered from the US and from Canada before. So how
probably didn't pay. Yeah, that's. I had that when I first started, and I was like, and I'm done. That was just how it went. Like I did it for a little bit. Canada is what burned me because I was charging like UPS would charge them like $12, and that's what I paid for the label. But then apparently the Canadian UPS is like the mafia, and they'll call them and they'll be like, "We have your package. If you ever want to see it, you need to pay $23 in customs."
Oh yeah, I mean because like it's funny enough. It's because the law. I forgot. It's called something. It's like a rig long name. It's like the Memorandum law or something. So we can ship from Canada to US below 800, and no taxes or customs will be applied. But going from the US to Canada, anything above $20, they will slap it with customs. So it's harder going north than it is going south. But I think UK is like anything above $100, then you get slapped with customs. And France, apparently, you have to declare customs before it arrives. But like, how am I going to know what the tax rate is in France and Spain and the rest of EU? And then in Australia, I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to deal with it. Like these people are just making a big hassle. After I already took like a $50 loss on each Vanguard I shipped to them, just to share the Vanguards, and they're like, I'm like, no. I'm not.
Yeah, I took a pretty big hit on the Vanguards too. Actually, even just shipping, it wasn't $50. It was like, I don't know, 15 or 20, and they already had.
It was like 150. It was 150 to ship to Australia. And I only charged the guy, I think like $100. So then I paid $50, and he paid $100. So it's like I'm losing $50 just to ship it to him, and then he's gonna hit me like, oh, you have to pay for the customs. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm just done with that. So So I think I put it on my system. If it's as soon as it reaches more than £2, I'm just not shipping to Europe.
Yeah,
that's how sense. I have it on my system.
That's a good idea. Let's go to some comments here. That toy guy loves the business content. It's pretty fun to make that content, not gonna lie. Almost as fun as making the content with my wife. Now she wants to film every day. It's very almost annoying. Oh, there's a ton of Black Series knockoffs out there. Check out Nerdzoic knockoffs. There's a great video by yours truly that may or may not start.
Hey, my girlfriend just came in. Jenny, come say hi to the nerds.
I haven't seen Jenny since Legion's Con.
They need to prove that I actually have a girlfriend and you're not fake.
I can vouch for it. I was as surprised as anyone else.
Come on, you're here on your own free. Just 2 seconds. Say hi to the people. Love seeing that nerds are not always. See, he's real.
Stranger.
No handcuffs.
Blink twice if you're unsafe.
She's not blinking. Her eyes are very open.
I don't know. Surrounded by, look at this guy. This guy knows what's up. Honor guard. What is on front? Oh, is that like a warning? Help?
No. It's just a monkey.
Oh, a random monkey. How far do you think the pendulum has swung on low runs? I think we're already swinging back a little bit. Not a ton.
No, I still think we're I think we're in the thick of it. We're in the eye of low runs.
Have you noticed though that like I feel like they're hedging their bets and doing the bigger things that they're worried about in separate runs, Hasbro specifically. So like they did, I'll give you 3 examples. They did their first run of Scarlet Spider-Man and it was nobody ever got it in stock. Then by August, we all had it in stock because I guess they just were like, well, we'll kind of slow roll this. They did the same thing with the Cable from the Zabu wave. There's more coming next month. And now
I think
I just got Gears like 5 months
I think
later.
the production is stopped on 2 ends though. They've released the quantity of items, like different items, and the actual number per SKU. So like this year, how many Marvel Legends waves did we get? Probably like
not many.
2 or 3.
3 tops.
Yeah, so I'm saying like, so they reduced the number of SKUs we're getting and the actual how deep those SKUs go.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I think they cut it on 2 ends, right? So maybe the thick, like how deep, like sure, maybe they're still producing a relatively high amount of each figure, but it just if they're only producing three waves a year, that's still a huge cut, right?
have you seen the not that I can show them on this screen, but have you seen the official line plans for next year yet? Because they're not big. They're exactly the same. I mean, it's a little confusing to me how we still get as many Transformers as we do. Like, I don't know. This was a good year for Transformers too, because we had like 3 or 4 different units that were like super great.
Oh, here's the thing: the movie did really. People love the movie Transformers 1. People are not watching it though.
Yeah, it got great reviews, and it was weird though because it got great reviews from everybody, from the people who are like, "Oh no, it's woke." They loved it, and the people who were like, "Yeah, woke is good." They loved it, but it made no money. I don't understand how this works.
Yeah, I think it's like, here's a good movie. No.
No, we don't want a good movie. We want to be divided. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, it's also I don't know. I think people were so burnt from Rise of the Beast that they were like, I can't trust another Transformer movies. What's that?
I liked Rise of the Beast.
You like Optimus needing a human to help him stand up?
That didn't bother me. See, those little things, I'm not a Transformers nerd. So I don't know that much. Like, I didn't even notice that till you just said it. Now, if this was Star Wars and you were like, wait a second, Kai Uramundi is now a different age, I'd have been angry. Major anger. So I got a comment in here that I'm going to skip ahead to because it kind of pertains. Do we think Hasbro is flooding the market with Black Series? Man, I don't know about you, but Black Series Star Wars has been kind of dead. Like, everything is outselling Star Wars for me at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars went from like the biggest hit from when Mandalorian was up to now being probably like the 4th place for Hasbro sales wise. I also think people are just like, they're not ready to be hurt anymore, right? Like the last, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years of Star Wars has been pretty terrible. So like, if you're making another Star Wars movies, I'm like, I'm not ready to watch it. I'm not ready to be hurt again.
But like Marvel hasn't been great either, but those toys sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, but they're going for classics though, right?
That's true, but well, I mean, like, so it seems like they're trying that now with Star Wars. We've just gotten, last year we got like a new Vader, a New Hope. This year we got Luke and Leia. It seems like they're really committed to keeping classic characters on the shelf, which makes sense. But still.
But when was the last time we had a good Star Wars movie versus the last time we had a good Marvel movie?
Mandalorian was the closest thing.
Yeah, Star Wars was good during then.
Yeah.
But
the last good Marvel
after that, the last Star Wars movie, like, I don't know, like, people don't like the sequels.
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah, the sequels, right? The last episode, what was it? 7, 8, 9, right? The Rey saga.
Yeah.
Like, that was not really considered a good movie series. So it's like, I feel Star Wars people they have to think real deep to get like those good hits. While Marvel's like, okay, we had some good movies. just at Endgame, you know?
See,
Like,
then
so
they
it's
need
not
to
too far
hire
away.
me because this is not that hard. Like, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and there are so many figures I want to see. We got one Mara Jade figure, okay? Like, there are so many figures from the EU, and yes, I'm sorry, I'm an EU guy, that we could do. There's so many upgrades that we could do for the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy.
We got some figures, the droids.
The droids were great, and they sold well, and I love them.
Exactly. Time
So,
Monday.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Like with Marvel, this was a low-key amazing year for Marvel because one, X-Men 97 was amazing. Did you end up watching it? The cartoon?
No, I had no time.
Dude, turn it on while you work. It's not that hard.
No. You
And
know how
I
much
thought
time
it was
mistakes I'll
amazing.
make like that?
I loved it. I
Everybody
absolutely loved
told me
it.
they like it, so my Canada Post guy tells me he loves it. So
Oh, it was great. I cried like a baby when listen, I won't give you a spoiler. I'll just go, Sugar, I can't feel you. Hits me hard. Let's see. Let's hit the comments. Got some good ones in here. I've been keeping an eye. Bath Blob or Recent Blob? I'm Recent Blob all way, baby. Hold on. Do I have him handy? Not handy. My buddy gave me the old Blob a year ago to do a video comparison. You can see how far along I've gotten. I've been really doing bad at videos. So this week, Epi, the editor, was a little late. That's okay. I was going to release it Tuesday, but then I forgot to schedule it. So it's just unlisted. So it's been sitting there since Tuesday, unlisted. So I'm just like, screw it. Now it's next week's video.
oh. I don't know. I like to release a video every quarter.
Yeah, quarter. Exactly. Lowell was not expecting the battle of the small online toy sellers. No, it's the battle of the mid-sized online toy sellers. That's what we like to call ourselves now. We're mid-size. Speaking of small, we got another. Oh, I didn't even know that the Sure Thing toys disappear. I mean, it was inevitable. So, fun story on them. I was Oh, wow, they did. I just Googled it and I was like, did they scam me? It's all over again.
What is Sure Thing Toys?
So, when like 2 years ago, I had who the hell was he? He was their shipping partner contact me to see if I was happy with my shipping rates. And they were doing free shipping on everything. And they were charging $1 over MSRP. And the Hasbro was their big thing. So people are ordering single Hasbro figures for free shipping. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're going to be out of business in a year. Like, even Big Bad couldn't do that. That's why Pile of Loot became a thing. Like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? But they did it anyway. Then they stopped selling Hasbro because they figured that out. But then they stopped selling everything because the website's gone. This is why you have to buy from people you trust. Probably, I was looking up negative reviews on Nerdzoic the other night, which I do from time to time. I'll type in like Nerdzoic complaints just to make sure that I'm still good. And someone wrote, that guy's face is all over YouTube. No way he's going to screw that up. And I'm like, good point. Trust me. And then he wrote, no stranger danger here. I'm like, that's a good point. I wonder if I could turn that into a tagline. No stranger danger. Buy from me. Hey, the Yojo Jerk is here. What's up, dude? How you been? I believe you were runner up. What's that?
How do I see the chat?
You can't see it on. Oh, I guess you got to go to YouTube. Or you can see it here sometimes. It works. Let's see. Make sure I'm caught up. Derek agrees that X-Men 97 was amazing. Hasbro needs to make figures based. They need to make figures based on all of the novels, man. I'm telling you. Like, Old Republic, the fact that we haven't gotten more from that era, the fact that we haven't gotten a movie from that era, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Who's running this thing? You guys need to have like Al Pacino come in and Son of the Woman and say, what kind of operation you guys running here? I don't know. Oh, I got a text message. Let's see. Oh, shocking. Be happy you're not in America right now. All we have, everywhere you turn, is a political ad. The other night, within a 1 hour time frame, I got a phone call where the caller ID said Donald Trump and another one where the caller ID said Kamala Harris. I showed my kids and I was like, you see how much of a big deal your dad is? They're trying to get his endorsement. I think they believe me.
They want your to vouch for them, yeah?
Yeah, I wouldn't vouch for anybody. You would have to have Jesus come down and run for president for me to vouch for anybody. I'm glad to see reissues of Wolverine and Rogue. Me too. I just wish they didn't send them all to Target for them to screw up the distribution of it, because that's what Target does, and they're great at it.
Shameless plug. I'm going to be getting Wolverine.
Oh yeah, Amir will have Wolverine. He's a special guy.
There's no Target here in Canada, so yeah.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are left scrounging like a bunch of animals trying to get it. I got it last time it showed up somewhere. Where the hell did I find it?
I'm sure it'll find its way south.
It always does. Like these things, like I told you, like remember when I was scrambling a few months ago because I never got my Autobot gears?
Oh yeah.
He just showed up at one of
the sale on Bumblebee today.
Yeah. I may have bought too many Bumblebee because a certain two people between you and my sales rep, because he's a big Transformers guy, he's like, hey, listen, you can't buy too many Bumblebee. And then you were like, oh no, you can never buy too many Bumblebee 86.
I'm still sold out, so I'm waiting for mine.
Yeah, it's been brutal. Which, speaking of sold out, anybody in the States who has a direct account with NECA, woo, it's been rough. So NECA switched computer systems in June, and they're still struggling. I have had stuff sitting in the warehouse since August 1st. They're having inventory issues too. And like, it's so bad because when I call them, I won't give names, but when I call them and talk to like my main rep, I feel so, he sounds like he was just beaten. Like you can tell he's getting called and yelled at all day long. And like he answers the phone like this because they got caller ID. Man, I'm so sorry. I know I was supposed to get back to you on Monday. Like that is how he answers the phone right now. And I'm like, bro, do we need to have like a virtual happy hour? You sound beat down.
So up here in Canada, the NECA distributor, well, there's two NECA distributors. One of them is not really a distributor. The other one, they just fired their buyer from Mezco/NECA. So
that should go well.
So they need to find somebody else to replace that contract.
Can I have their Mezco contract?
Yeah. Well, you have to come to Canada so that you can distribute in Mezco, Canada.
Well, I'm pretty positive I'm going to go to the New York Toy Fair for at least a day or two in 3 weeks just to do some industry hobnobbing. What's that?
Are you going this year?
I wasn't going to, but then I got so many people asking me. They're like, hey, are you going? I'm like, all right, I guess I got to go for a day or two. And it's kind of like a double-edged sword because my wife wants to take the kids to New York City soon. My daughter's middle name is Manhattan, and she's never been there, and apparently that's evil. So what I've decided to do is we're going to make it a double trip here. I'm going to go to Toy Fair, and they're going to take the train in the next morning. And bada bing, bada boom. Maurice, you finally got your Mirage Turtles. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even have my last Ronin battle damage yet. He's been sitting there for a month. It's been crazy. It's been nuts. If you're getting it out of Jersey, disaster. But they're probably going to have some time to catch up with the great way things are going on the porch right now. How long do you think this is going to last?
Probably somebody's going to fold. I don't think neither party can live without working, and the other party just can't afford to crash during
I feel like the longer it goes, the more the shippers are just going to be like, hey, look at that. We fixed the automation. We don't need you no more. You've been replaced by R2-D2.
Like right now, I also know in Canada, our post office is threatening to strike also. But I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like the government is going to step in and tell them no.
Well, I mean, so we have a law for that. It's called like the Taft-Hartley Act, I believe. the president can put in a 90-day cooling off period. And he hasn't done it. He says he's not going to do it. I'm like, why not? Like, there's literally people still stranded from a hurricane and no supplies. They're still finding bodies. And I'm just like, So luckily, like, some states have the National Guard working the ports for essentials for anybody who's like stranded and needs stuff. The timing couldn't be worse just because of that. Like, that hurricane, that was some
It's
bad
in Florida,
news.
right?
No, it was Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee. It was like the whole South. I've had 4 to 5 different customers contact me to change their address in the last couple of days because their house got washed away. Like, it's crazy. Look up some videos on the talk and you'll see.
Talk? Is that what we're calling it now?
That's what I call it, the talk, until it's illegal.
The talk.
Here's one of the reasons I hate politics in one word. Anyone trying to get rid of TikTok, I dislike you. It is not a weapon of the Chinese government.
I hate TikTok.
Yeah, you're apparently a bad person. Action Joe Figs is also into Action Force. I want to pre-order some Mythic Sir Enoch. Is it too late? No, it's not too late at all. They are not even done being produced yet. I talked to Four Horsemen dude on a week and a half ago, and I asked, hey, when should I expect to have to pay you multiple thousands of dollars for figures again? And he said before the end of the year-ish. But then he said probably not to say that, so I'm going to add the ish. I saw you got the Frankenstein. What's up with that?
I do. I always buy like their figure obscuras.
Yeah.
And no, there's just I don't know. Just at this point, it's like reflex. Like, oh, figure obscura, buy it. You should not be giving me any hate. Then don't you have a certain horse headless man that you asked me to give you?
What about him? I got a lot of them.
You have a special one that you asked for.
Oh, he is. Where the F is he? I have the original one from you. I don't have a clue because you gave it to me pre-flood. So it's in with all of the stuff from my collection that was flood stuff, which I moved to a new storage unit last Saturday. And this Saturday, I'll be moving it from there to another new storage unit because that storage unit has a funky smell.
Don't give nerdy stuff.
No, that is a terrible lesson. Give me all the stuffs. Speaking of stuffs, did you hear from our buddy with the dragons today?
I heard some stuff.
Got some good discounts going on the McFarlane, the older stuff.
Oh,
75% off some stuff.
Oh, I didn't see that. Wait. It's a small list though, right? Like, it's not all 75% off. There's only a few things.
No, he got like the Batmobiles. Oh, we have another McFarlane Killer Wave coming.
We do?
Like, remember the platinum where was all the wave that has Cyborg and Red Hood also has a platinum effigy and a platinum the question, and I think another platinum. And those things, as of like a couple days ago, were going for $110 a piece on eBay for stupid people.
Really?
I don't know why anyone will pay that much. So it's great. I love those waves because I can get them in, churn and burn, like open them and they're sold before I get them out of the box.
And a 2-case limit.
2-case limit a week. So you're not as smart as me. You don't wake up at 5 a.m. every Monday and say, I would like 2 more cases, please.
We'll wake up 5 a.m. anytime.
I am. Hey, look at this. This is perfect for you. It is Nork. He wants to know if you're hiring.
Are you in Montreal?
So on that note, I have a huge announcement. Huge announcement on the hiring front. Nerdzoic has hired its first full-time employee that doesn't have the last name Roberts. Woo! We're official. So now I have to figure things out like 401ks. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Nork does live in Montreal, so look at this. You have to tell him to come see you. He'll have to go through a rigorous training that involves you making him pack things fast.
Yeah, I mean, he can send me his CV. It's sales@toysnowman.com.
What's a CV?
We'll look into it, and then we'll probably meet him once.
What's a CV?
What do you guys call it then?
Oh, a resume?
I guess you guys call it resume, right? Yeah.
I hired a guy without a resume. What does that mean?
Curriculum vitae.
Here's how I go about hiring people. I go, hey, X person who I used to work with, do you know anybody who would work well with me? That's generally how it goes.
And the answer's like, no, nobody can work with you, Matt. You're crazy.
No. They're just like, well, sure, I know lots of people that can work with you, but how much can you pay? And I'm like, let's go back to where the, hey, can you work with me thing?
There's a bigger amount of people that he can work, I guess, right? It's a bigger pool to work with.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Did you get anything in from Hasbro this week?
I did. Are we talking about new products? Are we talking about like super new or?
I don't know. Either or. What did you get?
I got the unapproved Captain Slaughter Joe figure.
He's not going to be happy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So that means I got my first run of it. So I'm tempted to make another order, but I'm like, will I get the first run or the second run? Then do people even care if it's the first run or second run? Yes.
Not for the most part, but some people do. The story on it's pretty funny. So basically, Slaughter saw it, and he must have called up Hasbro and was like, listen up, maggots. I always wear my hat, and that's in order.
And the glasses, right? It was hats and glasses.
He was not a happy camper. Not a happy camper.
We're getting our Cobra Troopers.
Oh, I got mine.
Also died.
So I got all mine from the distributor one the other day. So I think almost all of my pre-orders are shipped. I just have to ship my Army Builder cases tomorrow. And then my the diamond ones, they'll all be available. I'll probably in stock Cobra Troopers tomorrow night.
I think I might have ordered too many.
I did. I definitely. How many did you order total?
Like how many I ordered or how many I'm getting?
How many are you getting total?
I think I'm getting around 200.
Is that what did you order?
Maybe 350.
Holy crap. 200 though, man. In the words of Matthew McConaughey, those are rookie numbers, son. I ordered 300. I got 300.
So are you over then?
I don't think I will be because nobody in the States has them yet that I know of.
Oh, okay. But like it's odd. Like I got it the same like Diamond coming at the same time as Hasbro, which is a bit funny.
Well, I'm going to make a video on Hasbro distribution as I learn more about it. I don't know how Canada gets it. Like, I don't know if you guys get it direct from China or if it comes to the US and then to Canada. I don't know.
We have our own boat.
But it's just so weird how it goes. Like, I get some things way early and some things way late. And I just want, every time someone sends me an email where it's like, I see this at other stores, why don't you have it? I just want to be like, did you see this? Like, I have next year's G1 Optimus Prime coming next week. And I'm like, look at that. Pretty early. I sold out of the Commander Optimus yesterday. Wish I bought more of those. Did not buy enough.
Can't buy enough Optimus and Bumblebees.
Oh, I think I bought enough Bumblebee. Because once it gets to Big Bad, then people stop looking for it. Then they're like, I know Big Bad's got it in stock. I can wait till someday. Oh, so like Big Bad finally got the Black Series reruns that we had 6.5 weeks ago. But then they got the Alfred Batmobile. I don't got no Alfred Batmobile yet.
Dragon just got it in.
Yeah, I saw, but I ordered 20 with the enemy, so I have to wait for those.
The enemy, the Moon Boys Entertainment?
The enemy. The Sauron of the toy industry.
Moon Boys.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna fill all our pre-orders before we send yours so that we can remain the biggest company. Them.
Yeah. Moon Boys Entertainment, I like to call them.
What's coming to them, I hope they enjoy it. Let's put it that way. There's something about them that just, I know what it is. They just annoy the living hell out of me. I can't stand them. Where it's like, someone's like, hey, I'm going to buy from Big Bad. I'm just like, yeah, they're a great store. They're a great company. They're run well. I understand that. But you should buy from me because I'm handsome. But then there's like, oh, I'm going to buy from EE. I'm like, what are you, stupid? Like, what are you doing? Why don't you just go buy from Satan himself? Did I say their name?
You said their initials. I did not say their initials. I called them Moon Boy Entertainment.
Now they're going to come after me. I'm going to get a cease and desist.
They need money, man. They need it.
Just think about it. If this was like, if they were like Harry Potter, he who should not be named, imagine every time someone said Voldemort, he sent a cease and desist. Like, oh no. They're getting started.
I'm sure he feels better each time. It's like they feel empowered by it.
I didn't say EE. Did I? I meant the enemy. Amir calls him Moon Boy. So basically, there's a company based in California that's been around a long time that has finagled their way into being the primary distributor for all of these companies. These companies set a price for wholesale. They say, here's the wholesale cost, here's your cost. What does the enemy do? The enemy marks up the price. What else does the enemy do? The enemy puts out pre-orders to their wholesalers, and they don't have orders in place. They're just like, hey, this is up for pre-order. But if you dig deep enough and interrogate them on the phone, they'll tell you the truth. Oh, we were just trying to see what kind of demand there is before we tried to place an order. They also do this thing where they're like, oh yeah, this is late for some reason. Don't know why. But then they have all of their pre-orders fulfilled the same day they ship it to you. Wonder how that happens. Magic.
Your orders that are of a high allocated item just disappear.
Teddy Roosevelt did not break
I don't know why. Just there's no trail. I don't know. Did you place an order? I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Before I got into business for myself, I didn't realize, like, I used to think that people who were like, big business trying to keep small business down. I really thought that was like a coping mechanism of small business to try to come up with a reason for why they couldn't make it big. It is so true. Like, the things that are in place to make sure nobody comes up, it's crazy. And it's weird because when like people are trying to get into our business model, contact me. I don't want to, I'm not going to tell them how to do the job because like blood, sweat, and tears went into that. I'm not giving that up. But I'm also not going to like try to take advantage of them and hold them down artificially. I don't know. It's just such a weird thing. I can't stand it. Apparently, EE created the AI known as Toy Shiz. Listen, I met him at Toy Fair. He is not an AI. He has a face. I was as surprised as you. Yeah, big business. I can't stand it sometimes. That's why, like, my dealings with places like Four Horsemen and Valaverse, I value them so much. It's like, oh, I need to talk to Bobby Vala. All I have to do is email him. Wow, magic. Oh, you wish to talk to one of the Four Horsemen. Call Ric Flair. He doesn't answer. Hold on. What is it? Who is it? Hey, how was it?
Good. They are going to have be featured in the newsletter and stuff. And then the school board asked them questions.
What kind of questions?
How did you get nominated? What do you have to do? How did you...
Did Luke talk, or was he all nervous?
Yeah, he was nervous. It was like 20 of them. It was a lot of them.
My boy. All right. Hey, is there any more of that shrimp?
Maybe.
I want more of it when I'm done this live stream. Drop my mouse. So Luke was at the school board meeting tonight. He is on the bus patrol, which is apparently like the police of the elementary school. So they have to wear a sash. Honestly, it's kind of creepy in a lot of ways.
Is he getting all? Is he accepting bribes?
He's not accepting bribes, but he's definitely let the power go to his head. And my daughter will try to bait him. Like, there's a rule of no one's allowed in the aisle on the school bus, but she'll put her hands in the aisle and then say, I was just doing a high five. I'm not in the aisle. It doesn't count. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, we were complaining about big business. But that's why, like, I think a lot of medium business don't understand how screwed up big business is to small business. And a great example of that is Mezco. Mezco wants to be sealed off in their own little hermetically sealed area on Long Island and not distribute to stores anymore. They just want to send people to the enemy and Diamond, who is not the enemy. I like you, Diamond. But the
Diamond's actually kind of nice.
Diamond is
They're
pretty
okay to
nice.
work with.
Diamond just needs to hire 3 times more employees, so every single person
That's
isn't
the
going
problem with
to-
Diamond. Diamond is actually nice. They
Very
don't
nice.
play the retailer/distributor game, but they just have issues with their actual distribution.
Which, by the way, remember I called you yesterday all upset about Diamond?
Yeah.
So I emailed them a strongly worded letter, and they're like, bro, you got to give the system a data update. It's not shipping for 2 weeks. You're fine.
Oh, so you're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. But I'm like, I was like really strongly wording it. I'm just like, where is my stuff? Oh, Plastic Pizza wants more mask figures. Good luck.
Yeah, I think that one's gonna be a shorted item. So
It seems
Good
like
luck for everybody
everything
on that one.
Mezco does that isn't Marvel is shorted.
I think they're trying to play it safe by not overproducing things,
It's
and
not a bad
it's
idea.
like it's part of it, right?
I've
It's
heard
really hard to predict the demand for something that's a year or 2 years for pre-order, right? Like, how
it
do
is,
you know?
but you know what's weird is they seem to I've heard from numerous people that they've had their orders canceled from them directly, saying that they lost product. Like, how? So they're not accounting for boating emergencies, apparently. Which, can't do that. Gotta account for the boating emergencies. Yeah, I do think that, like, that mask, where anyone who has it ordered at Nerdzoic, probably late next week, I finally got mine shipped. Which is ironic. Like, I saw them on Diamond like 3 months ago, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to order the exact amount it will let me order." That number was 1. That's why whoever was the first person in line for mask pre-orders at Nerdzoic got it. Everybody else is still waiting. Same thing happened with Conan. Although it was my best friend who was the first in line because he's got a Conan obsession.
I had to order. I got shorted on my Conan, so I had to order it from China now. So it's on a boat
You said it
to
wrong.
me. From China.
China. Well, that's interesting. I don't remember ordering a comic book, but it's on my EE shipping list, or my not the enemy. It's on my Diamond shipping list. Interesting. I kind of feel like I need to send. So I tried to order. Sorry, Plastic Pizza. There's been none extra. I've already had other stores hit me up and ask if I could help them out. I have none extra. I sold exactly to the pre-order. Like, luckily, Mezco's the one company that I'll sell exactly my pre-order amount if I order it on time, because I've never had a damaged Mezco product. Because Mezco, like, they put the box. Well, first of all, they have the box. Inside the box, they have cardboard dividers. Then they take that box and put it in another box.
Well, they also, I think Mezco is like one of the few companies that accounts for like shipping between companies, right? Between distributor and supplier. Like, a lot of stores don't order by the pallet, so distributors are going to ship them with like just a FedEx label, and say good
Well,
luck.
even distributors, like my one distributor, they're not getting full pallet loads of like Transformers, for example. So like my Transformers, I've had a lot of issues with. But you know what I've had a lot of issues with lately on that note is, and it's ironic because it never was an issue, McFarlane. Those top corners of the cards have been curled in because the corners aren't strong enough. It drives me nuts. Like it needs
I mean,
those plastic corner things.
no, I get it. Like I honestly like the tab for NECA and McFarlane. I just hate those things. Like nobody hangs like other than big box stores. Like really, and the big box stores only gonna put like maybe a case, and then
They don't
they
even
can
hang
figure
NECA.
themselves out and they put shelvings. Like I don't know. I just don't like that tab. That tab adds 4 inches, adds another point of destruction on the toy where it can bend, it can rip.
Yeah.
No collector really hangs things. Like I don't know. Write down in the comments if you are a collector and you hang your NECA from the tabs,
Oh, not
right?
NECA. I mean, I used to always hang my stuff, but do you know who's packaging? So like whenever the Nerdzoic toy line comes out someday, that hasn't been adopted in my mind yet. You know who's packaging I want to emulate is Four Horsemen. I love that you can repack it so easily, and they do have it like you can hang those just fine, and it doesn't hurt anything. I love their packaging.
I mean, I like NECA packaging, except I would just cut off that top part. That's it. That's all I want to do. Just cut off the top part. I'll keep the flab and everything
86
else.
the top, NECA. That's the lesson for today. And ship your stuff. Secret Kingdom wants to know, how are you liking Action Force and is it doing well on the store? Because I want to buy Action Force on your website. Yes, it is. Last year, I was playing with numbers. So he being Bobby, pronouns, pal. He did a rerun on Kurek, Bone Collector. I almost said Bone Chiller. And then all the females. They sold out so quickly that I did this number study where I was trying to figure out like what my number of units per SKU was, and they were the highest one, like by far. So they sold like hotcakes. Now this year they slowed down because Bobby increased his print runs. He has enough available. Some of the snow guys didn't, not the snow guys, the one snow accessory kit I'll have forever. I forget which one. I have a lot of them, but for the most part, they sell really well. Hey, Holodope is in the house. We can't get a case of W. Yeah, well, I don't get basics because I don't like them, but Mattel packaging in general is awful. I'm assuming you're probably buying it from the Enemy or Diamond. And Diamond, I love that they're doing this low shipping cost thing, but they ship in the manufacturer packaging. So like, yes, it is the Arctic Weapons pack that will be forever. So like I got my shipping notice for my Cobra Troopers, and it's 30 packages just for them because they didn't combine anything. Which Vanguard did you want? I think I still have one of them. If not, it's still sitting here and somebody has it in their nerd stash. It's just kind of piled up. That was the one part of this nerd stash that's not great, is all of the stuff everywhere.
Did like 5 extra shelves and just dedicated to the stash.
Bro, I got I never pull anything. It stays on the shelves with everything else. I don't pull nerd
yeah, okay, fine. No, I have to pull it because otherwise walk-ins will like I have to like, no, can't sell it to you.
I was thinking about that because I was looking at retail options a few weeks ago. So my solution would be I was going to have like a tag made that said sold. And then every day I was going to have a report that gets automatically emailed to me of everything that needs to be tagged. So like, you sell 20 things in a day. That's just part of your routine every day. You tag them so you go and sell them. It's not easy. It's not perfect, but it's not the worst.
I don't know. For me, whenever I get an email saying I'm low on inventory or last one has sold, I just take it off the shelf and put it in the snow fort.
With listen, WW Elites, well, we got Ultimate Edition on the store. My big rule of thumb right now, so Mattel has a rule that they won't distribute to you unless you have a brick and mortar or a private warehouse. As you guys know, I do not. However, I do have a friend in the States who might be opening a brick and mortar store that is toy adjacent. He's selling games. But when that happens, you best believe he's getting a Mattel account for me. He doesn't even know it yet.
I think it's just them being stupid and not realizing. Like they just have somebody. Their buyers / their account managers are just people who just don't see the value in independent toy stores, and they have no way of reach. They're like people who are just have no computer skills, so they can't like watch YouTube or like because they've been in the industry for so long that they've ingrained themselves with like these are our buyers: Walmart, Target, Amazon, whatever companies that have been around for 20 plus years. These are our buyers. Everyone else is just noise to them, and because of that, they're just ignorant to the giant market of all of us who don't want to order from Moon Boys or Diamond because
the
of
enemy
issues.
The enemy.
Yeah.
Call it right.
The
Call
enemy.
it. At least Diamond charges us the right price.
I hope not.
What's that?
I mean, Diamond.
They charge so like every company has a list.
I pay
wholesale
7%
price.
shipping for Diamond. So
see, I
I pay
paid
twice the
3.
shipping for you. Yeah, I'm paying twice as you. And when the margin is like 20%, 25%, paying 7% eats a lot of it, right?
It does. It certainly does, especially when half of it ends up damaged anyway. Like I thought about with Diamond, I'm now a truck owner, ladies and gentlemen. I bought a Dodge Ram 2 weeks ago. Anna got into an accident with it 1 week ago, so it needs a new bumper. But other than that, it's great. But I thought about Diamond has a pickup point 50 minutes away. I thought about just going to pick things up, not because of the cost of shipping, but because of damages. I don't know. Did you know that Dorkside Toys did that up until COVID? They picked up their Hasbro order every single week. They had a Sprinter van and they go and pick it up because they weren't buying from Hasbro.
Oh, really?
They were buying from Southern. Hey, Andrew Clark's here. The OG fan of the channel. OG indeed. Hey, Laser Pants is here too. What's up, man? How you doing? Of course there'll be Nerdy Awards this year. I'm hoping that they're the last Nerdy Awards that are virtual. What? That's right. There's
I've
big
been trying to
things
get into it, the physical one forever.
Listen,
The virtual one.
the virtual one, you can't get it. Wait till the physical one happens. February 2026. I may or may not be negotiating rates right now for Nerdzoicon. Nerdzoicon is where all the kids are.
eBird?
Do I think the franchise is dead or only Hasbro Black Series? I don't think it's
I'm reading
dead.
D-Bird's comment.
Who's D-Bird?
It's 2 comments above it.
Oh, hold on. I start it so I can get back to it. Let's see. Do I think the whole I don't think the franchise is dead, but it's definitely on life support. Like, if you were to use an analogy, because I know you guys love analogies, in Thor 1, Odin goes into the Odin sleep to heal. And when he's in the Odin sleep, Thor goes to Earth. He meets Natalie Portman, has a bit of a crush on her, like we all do. Ends up having to fight a destroyer. Thor cries when he's sleeping. Right now, Odin. Right now, Star Wars is Odin. It's laying in a bed in Asgard, asleep, with a tear coming down George Lucas's eye because he wants it to be good again. But it's not there.
I think the fan base for Star Wars is just very hurt.
They're damaged.
Because like it's like we're just like Charlie Brown, right? She keeps taking the ball every time we're gonna kick it. And right now it's like the 5th time we're like, you know what? I'm just not ready to get
I don't trust you.
Anymore. I can't trust you anymore. Every time, like you promise, you swear, you show me a good, like, cool character or something, and then you just guess what?
Yeah, it's nuts. Like, I don't totally understand what they're thinking with many things, but like I was gonna like say it's more like dating a girl who's been cheated, or a man who has been cheated on before. Like you're with them, and every single time you like don't answer the phone, they think they're cheating on you. That's how Star Wars fans are right now. They're like jumpy. Like every time they announce something, they're like, "Is it going to suck?" Probably. They just don't trust Star Wars.
Destroy the last 20 years of what I thought Star Wars was? Is it? Is it
Well,
going
I
to
mean,
ruin
like,
my imagination of everything?
there's also the thing of like nobody liked the prequel trilogy either. But now those of us who made fun of it, this guy, love it because what came after was so bad they made it look good.
Well, okay, like we admit some of the acting or some of the scripts was terrible for the prequel trilogy, but there were some good moments that people will say like were good. Like some people did end up going to the movies to watch those movies. The fight scenes were still arguably some of the best fight scenes. Like all the lightsaber action, sorry, like fight scenes were still good, right? But people criticized it when it had bad things. But people still wanted to watch it. Right now, it's like I'm not even gonna bother watching this because I just know it's so bad because
They forgot how to tell stories. They forgot how to make characters people like. They started making characters based on what they think people want to see. Like when The Force Awakens came out, they were like, okay, female lead, Rey, we're going to make her amazing. But the reality was, let's face it, her backstory was kind of boring. Then you had Finn sitting there, the stormtrooper. He was a black guy. He had a really cool story. Like, if they would have made him the feature of that trilogy, I think it would have been a million times better. Like, I think back to the opening scene of The Force Awakens where he's got, like, the bloody handprint of his friend on his armor. Like, that's a hell of a story they're telling. And they are like, no, we're going to tell the story of Rey. She's Palpatine's granddaughter.
The second stormtrooper, the one that yells traitor.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be actually his colleague. And that's why like he was more emotional about it. But they cut that all off. Like he knew who he was, and that's why he calls him a traitor, and he was like very emotional about it. But then they just decided to cut that and throw that whole like Finn story out the window. So
that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. Finn should have been a good story. It should have been him who had the Force, and he didn't know he had I could go back and rewrite that, and I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer at all. I do have some good ideas. Most of them are based on old wrestling storylines. I admit we probably would have ended up having Finn reunite with Kylo Ren, and they would have had the handshake like the Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage.
I don't think you even need a really great storyline, like a super great storyline. I think this needs to be more relatable. Like my favorite last two troopers were the ones that had like Baby Yoda in the backpack, the speeder troopers. Yeah. Like there was nothing special about them, but they were like probably the best stormtroopers I've seen in the last decade, where they're just talking about their normal day and they're just like, Moff Gideon just killed 2 people. Do you really want to give him bad news? No, I'll wait. I'm chill. Like I can relate to those guys. So like those are the ones that people want through this the stormtroopers' normal life. Like they're just normal people too, right?
Well, there was a great comic about that 30 years ago. Dating myself. It was called Tad and Bink, and they were like the stormtroopers who screwed everything up, and they were super relatable. It was one of the greatest Star Wars comics I ever read. It was a comedy, if you can't tell. But yeah, like, how about this? Star Wars, if you could say one thing about it, going back to the original trilogy, even the prequel trilogy, it was black and white. There was good, there was evil. There were no shades of gray, right? Like either you became dark side, you could go back to the light side. There wasn't anything in the middle, but they gave up on that. And that to me annoys me.
I mean, yeah, it was very obvious. Like, I remember there was like an interview with George Lucas, and they were talking about introducing Darth Vader. And the one, I forgot who it was. They're like, okay, how do we introduce Darth Vader? Like, he's the bad guy. I'm like, he's gonna walk in the room. The room's all white. He's gonna be all black. He's gonna be interrogating somebody. There's no need to explain that he's the bad guy. And like that was like, it's very simple. Like it's very obvious he's the bad guy as soon as you see him, enter the scene, right? His first scene. Yeah. So I think like that's part of the storytelling where it's like it's obvious where this guy's position is.
Going through my comments. Well, the Odin sleep refreshes Odin so he can come back and rule. Star Wars will be fine when Disney sells it. Maybe they're trying to get rid of it. I don't think they're trying to get rid of it. I also don't think that they're going to sell it. Why the hell would they? It's worth less. I mean, I really don't know this, but I think that in public sentiment, at least, it's worth less now than it was. Chris says that the Star Wars fandom are split. There are those who love it and those who like to ruin the day of those who love it. That's true. I feel like I'm the only one in the middle where I'm just like, can I have something good? Like, I feel like there's room for everything in Star Wars. Like, if you are, I'm trying to think, if you are like a hardcore My Little Ponies fan, like you're into the bronies, you're a brony and everything, why not make a Star Wars show where it's like, hey, Star Wars, My Little Ponies, why not? You own the property. You can do whatever you want with it. But don't turn Luke Skywalker into a freaking brony, okay? Like, there are so many things you can do without retconning things. When you start messing with that stuff, it messes with the people who have ADD, like me. And they're like, wait a second, this is out of their character arc. This makes no sense. Drives me nuts. Speaking of Chris, he's trying to get out from under the enemy's thumb. That markup is so low. Is Diamond the way to go? Yes. Take the risk of damages. It really is, unfortunately. Depending on how much you need.
Moon Voice doesn't really give me safe packages. They send me like 40 packages in 40 boxes, so it's not like they're any better.
Yeah, I mean, like, by the time it gets to your door, the enemy's price is almost like Amazon Prime. You've come so far since the flood, and it's good to see y'all thriving. Thank you, man. We are. It's great to be to the point where we need to hire an employee. Here's a fun one. Have you heard the internet rumor that Hasbro is trying to get out of Disney's contract for Star Wars? Have you heard that, Amir?
No.
I've not heard that either. I don't think that's true. I think that's one of those fake news rumors. I don't think it's true at all. Because if anything, maybe Hasbro wants to change the terms so that they don't have to make the Acolyte toys. But let's face it, Hasbro's making more money from Star Wars toys now than they did 5 years ago during The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi toys, you can't give those away. I could be like, hey, here's a Last Jedi toy in $1. Would you like it? And they'll be like, no, I'll just take the $1. It's really bad. It's really bad. And like, listen, I hate to say this, but is there anybody else out there you'd like to see the Star Wars license go to other than Hasbro? My answer is, unless you're going to go to, like, I sure as hell don't want to go into Todd. Todd will be like, every week he'll come out and be like, hey guys, here's a Luke Skywalker figure. It's really cool. His legs move. He's really great. You should buy
Here's
it.
The carbonized version.
Yeah.
Here's the
Jokerized version of Luke.
The Jokerized version.
Every week we'll get the same thing. Instead of Batman, it's Luke Skywalker.
Here's
God,
the
that's the
Jokerized
last thing we need.
Luke Skywalker with gold label.
Yeah. Here's the gold label Luke Skywalker. Oh, you want the Luke Skywalker with a face that doesn't look like crap? That's a platinum label.
Here's the smiling Vader.
Here's a James Earl Jones figure without the mask. It's him in the sound studio. It's 1 per every 3 cases. Also, only big stores can have it. We're only giving it to Amazon.
I mean, I do like McFarlane. Just their distribution is a bit difficult sometimes.
That's because they only want to deal with big stores. They don't want to deal with the little guy. They don't like us. Even though Todd was once the little guy, they hate us. Let's see. The sequel trilogy made me appreciate the prequels. Me too, but honestly, this is going to sound really philosophical and old manish. But as I grew older, I appreciated the prequels more, specifically the character of Qui-Gon Jinn. Like, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, this guy is cool. He's Liam Neeson with long hair. But as I get older, he is he was so far ahead of his time in the Jedi Council. Like, what would have happened if the Jedi Council listened to Qui-Gon? What if he did not get killed by Darth Maul? It would have changed everything. What if he?
That's like the fan theory, right? What is the duel of the fates?
Yeah,
was won by Darth Maul. So that's why, like it was supposed to be like the duel of the fate was Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul,
it was.
and because Darth Maul won, that's why like the Jedi Council and everything went the other way.
Yeah,
I mean, we
like,
lost Anakin.
Like, if you really look at it now, Yoda's a moron. Yoda, Mace, those guys were like corporate sellouts. They didn't know what was going on. If you want to put it in the business terms, Yoda was Amazon, Mace was Target, okay? And then here comes Qui-Gon. He's Nerdzoic, and he's like, hey, guys, you should probably sell your stuff to me. Obi-Wan comes in. I don't know who Obi-Wan is. I really don't. Coyote Mundi is probably Toy Snowman because he's got a big head.
I'm Jar Jar Binks here.
Yeah, oh, there's Jar Jar Binks over there.
I'm just Jar Jar Binks, man.
Like, there's so many things you can do.
Oh, I'm that droid with the wrong head.
Like, they're at the point now with Star Wars where they're going to be like, guys, the 1/12 scale is not working. Let's go to 1/10. Like, I'm waiting for that to happen. I feel like it's going to happen.
Oh, I think that would be the worst thing ever if they reboot the Black Series.
It would be awful. Do you know what I would do, though, in all honesty? If I'm Hasbro and I have that license, and I don't know if they have the power to do this. I actually doubt they do. But the one company I would love to see Star Wars figures from is Mezco. As many faults as Mezco has, I feel like their style with the accessories, with the extra heads, with the soft goods, they would just excel with Star Wars, especially Jedi.
I saw a really interesting question. At what level do you would not consider yourself the little guy anymore?
Hold on, I'm not that far yet. Let's scroll down. Let's find this stuff. First, let's go to my stars here. Okay, I already listened to all of those. Okay. There are still parts of the fast forward. Yes, I fast forward through the pod race every single time in episode 1. In episode 2, I fast forward through every single love scene with Anakin and Padme. I don't care how good looking Padme is. It doesn't matter. It's terrible. I hate sand. It gets in your pants and it itches. Okay, Plastic Pizza left the building. Wow, 11 minutes ago. I'm behind. Sorry, guys. Toy Gains in the house. Hasbro has their hands tied because Disney keeps making bad Star Wars stuff. I agree to a certain level. My thing with Hasbro is, listen, you have I don't want to call it a handcuff, but you have 2 different scales, so it's harder. Don't come out with the same figures in the same scale at the same time. It just tends to piss people off. Actually, that's a lie. It doesn't piss people off, but it's boring. When they're like, hey, here's a Mandalorian loyalist in the Black Series, and here's one in the Vintage Collection. What are you doing? What are you doing? This guy says Finn should have been a Jedi, Rey should have been a smuggler. Couldn't agree more. Like, we should have found out that Rey was Han's illegitimate child. That would have been great. How cool would that have been, actually? If she was like, oh my God, Han, remember at Cloud City how you and Leia were fighting and you had that moment with the blackjack table dealer? The
Wookiee? So,
yeah.
What, like, where are you going to go with this?
I'm half Wookiee, it turns out. Oh, I mean, if you ask my wife, I am half Wookiee. So, in my head canon, Rey is Obi-Wan and Satine's... I'm guessing that's Sabine. Oh, no, Satine. I knew that. Sorry, I had a moment. I could see that. That would have been cool. They did. They laid the foundation for Finn to be so much more, but they didn't have a plan. I agree. And they're like, what do we do with Finn? What about the Asian girl? We have nothing to do with her. Let's put them together. Like, it felt like a fan fiction.
I feel like they just had to, like, they change directors.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah.
South Park did the best J.J. Abrams. So after J.J. remade The Force Awakens and it was essentially A New Hope, they did a spoof where it was Colin Kaepernick, and it's like, wow, we need a new national anthem because Colin Kaepernick has ruined this one. So they went to J.J. Abrams, and his new national anthem was the exact same thing, except at the beginning they were like, please sit or stand or kneel or lay down for the national anthem. So nobody knew what to do. It was fantastic. Have I seen?
I just feel like it was a message. Like, here are the letters, and then make a word. It's like, okay, let's just move it. And you get this. You can have so many words with the same letters, and I just feel like here are the parts. Go, go make something out of it. It's like, okay, I have these characters. Let me put them in my board and see what happens.
I hate to reference South Park for a second time in a single 60 seconds, but there was a South Park where they talked about how Family Guy did their writing, and essentially it was a bunch of manatees and bouncy balls. They'd put the balls, each ball would have a different word on it, and they'd throw them into the manatees to see what combination they put the words in, and it would be like, the Looney Tunes go to Saturn and meet Hitler, and that's their episode. And then it would be like, Peter would be like, that reminds me of the time I went to Saturn and met Hitler on the rings of Saturn. I have not seen the Mr. McMahon documentary. I need to watch it, but I hear, based on what I see, I've read like multiple books on him. I find him really fascinating, also slightly evil. Reading his books is like reading a Rise to Power of Darth Palpatine. So I do enjoy reading his stuff, but like I heard this isn't very good. White Claw, no, not for me. Don't like the seltzers. Hey, Quinn's here. What's up, man? We are doing really well. Excited for our new employee to start so we don't have to work 90-hour work weeks. Can't wait. Actually, it's not even that. I don't mind the work weeks. I'll probably still work a lot of hours, but I want to do new things. Chase Sheriffus, is that your real name? Appreciate the contact. Thank you. Content. Same Time Toy says nothing makes sense anymore. I agree. And I lost my spot.
Oh, Same Time Toys didn't go below.
Scott Reads Comics says, yo, yo, yo. Scott Reads Comics was supposed to meet me for lunch at Smashburger on Monday, but now he has to work. So that means no Smashburger for me. No peanut butter milkshake for me.
Tragic. I'm sure we'll move.
Raider Nation, looking forward to the nerdies. Of course you are. You're a Raiders fan. Nothing good's going on right now. Trust me, I understand. I'm an Eagles fan. Playmates. Are we talking about the toy company or the bunnies? I don't know. Don't know. Jokerized Han Solo. I'm there. I'm here for Jokerized Han Solo. It'll be great. Hey, I ordered some Jokerized figures today. We'll see how long it takes to sell them. They can't sell Star Wars at Ollie's even. Listen, it's bad when Ollie's is starting to back up with things. I'm kind of disappointed, though. All the stuff that's at Ollie's 2 years ago, Hasbro would offer to us. But now when I email Hasbro and I'm like, hey, you guys got anything you're looking to get rid of? Did I tell you what they said to me?
You did.
We'll send you an email when we have a list appropriate for your business size. Listen, I'm sorry I'm not Mr. Ollie, okay? But I could be. Did I ever tell you that Ollie's grandson is my mailman? True story. Listen, if Jada took over for Star Wars, we would get one figure every quarter for the next 400 years. Wookiee page punchers. Actually, that would be pretty funny. We get 3 3/4-inch Chewbacca's with a completely random thing. At what level do you not feel like the little guy anymore? I don't know. I bet you if you ask Joel at Big Bad, he still feels like the little guy, even though he's not with his ponytail.
I think the level between when you stop being a little guy is when you have your own exclusive.
Oh, so I won't be a little guy next year? Is that what you're saying?
When you have your own Hasbro exclusive? Yes, I was saying that.
Hasbro. Oh, you had to add in Hasbro. So were you saying that an Action Force exclusive doesn't count? Is that what you're trying to say to me?
Yes.
Damn it. Qui-Gon was a great character. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, Jar Jar was a major issue with the prequels. The lack of chemistry between Anakin and Padme, I don't know so much if I put it as a lack of chemistry or just bad George Lucas writing. That guy writes like he never had a girlfriend. Like it's like he never wrote a romantic card in his life. I think Hasbro. So this is an interesting one. I was going to make a video on this about Hasbro not being able to stick with their release dates. In the United States, I don't think we have the infrastructure for Hasbro to stick to their release dates. They can't just bring over a ship of Hasbro and have it all unpacked and release at the same time. Hasbro has to mix their shipments. They have to bring things in early. Their release
I
date.
think that's a lie.
No, it's not. It's their worst
They
case
can
scenario.
they can do it for Magic the Gathering.
It's smaller. You can get the entire Magic the Gathering on one boat,
There's a lot more of that selling than toys,
but it's a lot smaller physically.
but it's a lot more.
Probably. Speaking of, is that SH Figure Arts doing really well for you? Oh, wait, it wasn't Magic. It was Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's doing really well for me.
The Dark Magician?
Yeah. I can't sell anime, but I can sell the Dark Magician like it's going out of stock. It's hilarious. Ryan says that Qui-Gon was the Jedi. The Jedi were. That is exactly right. Luke should have become Qui-Gon because Luke realized that it was not a problem to have love and attachments. Here we go. Star Wars philosophy for you, since nobody watches videos on Star Wars philosophy when I put them out. Qui-Gon did not see a problem.
Love's philosophy happened.
There you go. He's out. With love and attachments. Anakin wanted his mother. Qui-Gon didn't look at that as a bad thing. Luke loved Han and Leia. He wanted to go to Cloud City and save them. Not a bad thing. But Yoda was like, let them die. They're not that important in the grand scheme of things. Meanwhile, this guy says Qui-Gon was the worst Jedi. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's true. They did. Were you in business when they tried those Hyper Reels figures?
Didn't they do that in 2019?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had some.
I got some at Ollie's.
Still, probably.
Yeah.
I think they only did like Luke, right?
Yeah. Listen, if InArt had the license, they charge $300 for a 1/12 scale figure. I would love it. Hyperreal would have been cool if they had more than just Luke and Vader. Yes, Obi-Wan was right through the entire episode 1. Qui-Gon couldn't Jedi his way out of a stormtrooper battle. Listen, Qui-Gon may or may not have been the best fighter, but if Qui-Gon was around for the events of episode 2 and episode 3, listen, as soon as Palpatine became Chancellor, like 3 months later, Qui-Gon would have been walking into the room being like, that guy's Darth Sidious, that guy right there, okay? He would not have fallen for the ruse. Meanwhile, Yoda's like, I don't appreciate your ruse, sir. Bender liked the pod race. I hated the pod race.
See, the Jedi were just stuck with bureaucracy. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Ben should have been Mace Windu's son. I disagree. That's one of the issues with Star Wars. Everybody seems to be related to somebody else. What's the problem with that?
I mean, the whole Star Wars is based off one family's drama, right?
It really is.
It's just one family's drama screwing up the whole empire.
I don't know if Vince is Diddy level bad, because Diddy was all about them minors. I think Vince was more of an 18 and older type of guy. So I think that if we're looking at levels of hell that they're going to, Vince is probably 6th level. whereas Diddy's down there in 8th level with Jeffrey Epstein. Listen, Secret Kingdom. I, as a guy who preaches team building and leadership, cannot stand Nick Sirianni. He is a disgrace to my Italian heritage. Did either of you keep any old Han Solo so people can have a human version of Red Hulk when Thunderbolts comes out? Listen, I still got some Han Solo archive figures for people, so I got you covered. You can pop the head off of that and put it on top of a Tony Stark, and you have... Who is he supposed to be? Whatever general he is. Quinn Comics wants a Jedi exclusive figure. That sounds like a wall.
This is a spoiler. Is Han Solo being played by
the Red Hulk is Harrison Ford, if that's what you're asking.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't you see the trailer where the Red Hulk was like, I hate snakes?
I don't watch trailers.
We got a semi-politics question. Thoughts on the dock worker strike? Pass. That's my thoughts. I don't know
until it happens, we don't know. We can't really. What's in motion is in motion. We can't really like prepare for it, right? I think if it happens, it happens, and you just gotta deal with it, right?
You know, this is what I've always said. I came from a poor family of a cook and a waitress. My mom made $2.83 an hour plus tips. When we were rich in the 90s, my dad made $10 an hour, and we weren't rich. So whenever I hear people complaining about really good wages as somebody who comes from that industry, I'm just like, how do I get in your industry again? I don't get it. Ooh, what is your guys' opinions on Hasbro reissues from both a collector standpoint and a business standpoint? I love them from a business standpoint because they sell really well. From a collector standpoint, I don't want to say because it completely contradicts my business standpoint. If I was a collector, I think I'd be annoyed.
I think if they treat it like how they do with like Pokemon and some other companies where they reprint enough that some people who really want it will get it, but it won't affect the secondary market enough. Like if something was $200 and it's still a new item and it was supposed to be $100, they'll reprint it enough that it goes down to like 150, but then it's like, okay, the point is that it's still supposed to be a collectible. You're still supposed to strive to get it, and if it's just handed to you in the Ollie's bin, you're not going to really want it, right?
1 second, and I'll explain that. Keep them entertained, sing and dance.
What? So I have the whole chat here, all to myself. I feel like a kid with like unlimited power. So everybody in the chat, just type in RIP. I don't know. No, let's just name a character. Okay, RIP Typhus, and then like everybody, like Matt will just be confused, like who's Typhus?
I've returned. Everything is okay. The world is safe. So here's how I would do it. I do think there is something to be said from alienating the collector's market, but I also think there's more to be said that collectors who are not about scarcity can still get a figure. Mafex figured it out. Here's what you do. You put a little sticker on it that says renewal version. That's it. Like if they would have taken the reruns and put a little tab here that said rerun, I feel like they could have done so much more for their business. That's how I would have done it if it was me.
I don't know. I don't mind it being a copy of the other. I just want it to be like in a limited amount where it's you're just not meant to crash the secondary market. I think if them dipping multiple times on the secondary market just hurts so many stores that depend on the secondary market also, right? You have so many vintage shops
like
that just rely. and they are a big part of the community. So I think like you want to keep that part of the community alive because there are people who want to find a 10-year-old figure, and the secondary shops are there for it. So I think that's integral. Like I still have everything brand new, so it doesn't affect me that much, but I still want people who are in the secondary market who want their collections to have value So
It's funny. I heard a rumor, and I want to clear up that this is a rumor that is probably not true, but might be. But I heard that Hasbro, when they re-release a figure, have a lower royalty amount. So if that's the case, I understand what they're doing. Like they're producing these reruns. They don't have to pay for tooling.
I don't think that's real because
I don't think so either. But I still heard
it. It wouldn't make sense because then they would purposely make the first run too short.
Yes, I agree, but it's what I heard. What was your biggest purchase when you started bussing tables? So I don't think I ever bust tables. So I went from Toast Boy, that was my first job, making toast, which was a lot harder than it sounds. Like I averaged about a loaf of bread a minute, like at that diner. We didn't mess around. Then I went from there to line cook to server. So I missed busboy. But my biggest purchase would be everything episode 2. I bought everything. The night episode 2 toys came out, April of 2002. There's a video about it in the archives. Me and John Lucas, we went to Hackensack, New Jersey, I think, because they weren't doing any Midnight Madness in PA. And it was nuts. It was nuts. Like if I had a physical store, I think I would try to do Midnight Madness for new releases, but I still can't order enough to do it. Like, did you get your Stranger Things in yet?
Yeah, like on it last
Strange
week,
Tales?
or maybe a week or two ago. That wave did well, but I think it's also because there's just not much Marvel stuff to buy.
No, man, that wave, I sold out of it. Like, I have some Lucy's, but I sold all my sets. I bought so many sets, I didn't think I'd ever have enough. R.I.P. Tufts, I don't know who that is. R.I.T. Matumbo, I do know who that is, and I agree. R.A.P. Harambe, I know who that is too. I do also want to add R.I.P. Pete Rose. Will you be getting the SH Figure Arts? So SH Figure Arts Star Wars are not available in the United States. I may or may not have been working with some people on the back end of Japan to see if I could get them from them at wholesale price. I have not yet done that, but I am trying. Wow, there's people really joining us late. Resume and CV are different. No. R.A.P. Maggie Smith. Hey, that's messed up. It's Dame Maggie Smith. Get it right. The secondary market is scalpers market nowadays. I have heard it way too many times about stores that are double what regular retailers are selling them for. I got to do a strong disagree here. So if it's an older figure, market value is market value. Like everybody had a shot at it when it came out. But if they're buying new stuff and selling it for double and you're paying for it, you're just dumb. They're scalpers and you're dumb. But you can't scalp something that's 5 or 6 years old. That's just not how it works. By that logic, the diner that sells a hamburger for $10, even though they only pay $3.50 to make it, are scalpers. Amir, what say you? Do you have any favorites for Multiverse of the Year?
Probably the Cyborg Superman, I want to say. No.
Wrong.
Yes, Cyborg Superman, I think.
There's only 2 correct answers here. Correct answer number 1, I'm looking at, it's Lucius Fox and his Tumblr. Correct answer number 2 would be the entire Batman Forever wave. I love that.
I don't know. I want to go with Cyborg Superman because he made me a lot of money.
He did, but you have to separate them. It's not easy.
Well, my favorite figures are Godzilla related, all of Godzilla. So until the McFarlane Godzilla crossover hits McFarlane, which will hopefully happen next year, where we have Godzilla versus Superman and King Kong versus Batman. No, you're giving me the face. It's gonna happen. They own the license.
We're going to get the Turtles crossover first. Turtles crossover with everything.
Yeah, I don't care if we get the Turtles. We already have the comic Godzilla, the Justice League against Godzilla, so it's in the realm of possibilities.
There's going to literally be
October 3rd. Toy Snowman declares Godzilla versus Justice League McFarlane crossover. Bam.
You ready
People
for
come
it?
back to this channel and comment, say Snowman was right.
Are you ready for it? Here it is. So this is the Dark Side crossover with Godzilla. He's really cool. He's great. He'll be up for sale at McFarlane Toys on Saturday. You should buy them. Podfather out.
And I'd buy 100.
Just saying. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Pete Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame the entire time. All right. They don't call him Charlie Hustle for nothing. For the longest time, you know how people put quotes on the bottom of their emails? I had two different quotes I would trade out. One was from Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. The other was from Pete Rose, which is good is the enemy of great. Just putting that out there.
Mine was Decepticons Attack.
The sexiest toy. Woo! It's a tough one.
Warbird.
Depends on the line. That Nina, what is her last name from Figure Arts, from Tekken? Nina something? Nina Williams? What's her name? I don't even know. She is very talented.
Denver. Warbird.
Now I'm looking it up. Nina Williams. I was correct. She is very talented, Amir. Hold on. Let me see if I can find her. There she is. Look at the talent. You can't teach that talent. And look, she's cool too. She's got sunglasses.
I mean, now put a side by side with my vote of Warbird. Put a side by side comparison.
Warbird is the girl who you go home with after a Halloween party.
It's almost the same looking person.
She's the girl you go home with after a Halloween party, Amir. Okay? She's all right. I mean, she's all right, but she's not hold on. You ready? This one, I got a good one. Winner, chicken dinner. Poison Ivy. There she is. In all her glory.
I'm going to skip the rash.
Hold on. I'll do better. This one may or may not be on brand for me. That's pretty on brand.
You like the articulation, huh?
It's the articulation. It gets me every time. I love some good articulation.
It's that articulation. Just gets him.
Oh, yeah, Quinn. When the people sell the new stuff, that is absolutely scalping. I couldn't agree more. Figure Arts is interesting. So first of all, they do have a great selection of lines. They're just... You know what bothers me about Figure Arts? They have the best looking figures, in my opinion, but they don't scale with anything.
They are Japanese size, so they're just slightly smaller.
5.5 inch, too small. Is PowerCon coming back next year, Hella Dope? I don't know. If they are, maybe, and I won't be on my scooter. Next year's going to be interesting. I'll be preparing for Nerdzoic in February of 2026. It'll be held in parts unknown for now.
So, Matt, this flew over your head. When you went away, I told the chat to say RIP just random things just to confuse you. And so that's why there was just a bunch of people just saying RIP something. So I know you're skipping some of the comments, but that's the whole deal of why people were.
I just thought that there was news I didn't see. Ooh, best toy hunt I ever had. Oh man, you guys, it's story time. So here's how this went. Every single Friday, the senior year of high school, I had nothing else going on. Wasn't going to the football games because I wasn't playing offensive line because they made you run laps. Certainly didn't have a date. That wasn't this guy. So every Friday, me and my buddy John, still my best friend to this day, we would leave Council Rock High School at 2:47. It's about how long it took us to get out of there. And we would do the Friday toy run. The Friday toy run consisted of 5 malls that included all of their KB toy stores, 4 Toys R Us, 7 Targets, 6 Walmarts, 5 Kmarts, and a comic book store. We were hardcore. I will also add that that comic book store had the comic book guy from The Simpsons working there, as well as Bradshaw from the APA. Pretty sure it was him. Did you see that Storm Collectibles is doing Street Fighter now? But at a price point?
What?
They're doing $30 1/12 scale Street Fighters.
Too late. Jada Toys already has it.
Well, everybody's like, oh no, I'm going to have to leave Jada now. That's like all the comments everywhere.
No.
Hard to beat
I think
Jada.
Jada has a good rap on it.
They're a company I wouldn't mind seeing Star Wars go. Well, I don't know. We don't need super articulated Star Wars.
You don't want to see your stormtroopers doing the splits?
Why not? Hey, I'm always down for a drink. Last time listen, I don't know if you're single or not, Black Knight, but at the last PowerCon, I was quite the wingman for former producer Tom. So, like, I was with 3 other dudes. Me and John shared one room. Eric and Tom shared another. You can go back into the archive and find the PowerCon vlog. The next morning, Sunday morning, I wake up and it's like, all right, let's head to PowerCon. And I text Eric and he's like, Tom's not back yet. And I thought that maybe my wingmanning had gotten him murdered. It did not. They just had a really fun night, apparently. Whatever the kids do these days. I don't know. I'm really glad that I'm not dating these days. Holy hell, it looks like a combination of so much more difficult and also so much easier. I don't know. Don't know. Like, I remember specifically, like, there was no, what's the app where you swipe?
Tinder?
Tinder. We didn't have Tinder in my day. We had Plenty of Fish. That's where you went to meet the hookups. But Tinder, I don't feel like I could have mentally handled that. I would have saw all of the women who swiped not interested and went into a depressive rut.
I believe, Matt, on Tinder, you just need to mention that you're 6 feet something, and it's automatically like they cannot swipe left, actually, or whatever on it.
No, so listen, there's a couple qualifications for that. Sure, I'm 6.5 feet tall, but I'm also 350 pounds, and they don't like that.
Yeah, but you can omit that part. Just put the 6 feet. That's all.
Unless they're Asian. Ask Anna, she'll tell you it works. I don't know why. She chased me. Still don't know why. We're going to do a video. Our next video we're going to film together is we're going to see if she can name which Marvel female characters I would like to marry in order. And then I'm going to do the same for her for the males. She'll never get mine. Never. She'll choose the Asian girl from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. first. And I'll be like, nope, sorry to burst your bubble, but she's not number 1.
Or, it's Chun-Li for you.
No, it's not Chun-Li. Now, I can't say it here in case she watches. I don't know if she's watching right now. She's probably not watching. It's Darcy from Thor. That's number 1. Sense of humor and attractive. Sign me up. Amir's Googling it.
Yeah, I'm Googling.
You didn't find it yet? Trying to remember what the actress is.
Oh, I know that one. It's the girl from Two Broke Girls.
Yes, her. What is her real name?
Darcy.
No, her real name, it says, is Darcy Lewis on Wikipedia. I don't think that's accurate.
It is.
Who plays Darcy? Siri, who plays Darcy? Kat Dennings. Thank you, Derek. Kat Dennings. That's number one. Kat Dennings, celebrity crush, numero uno. Is your girlfriend around? Now you can give your celebrity crush. Well, she's actually not my number one celebrity crush. That's probably Brandy Rhodes. She gets number one. Something about her. Don't know what it is. Yeah, Kat Dennings pale, but she makes up for it in other ways. It's ironic that my real
Isn't that a
number
guy?
one. What do you mean that's not a guy? Brandy?
Randy Rhodes is a guy, isn't it?
Brandy, B-R-A-N-D-I.
Oh, Brandy Rhodes. Okay.
Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
No, I'm not getting anything. What character does she play?
She is, we're not even in Marvel anymore. She's Cody Rhodes' wife.
Why are you using these real people?
I don't even know if that's her real name. It is now, but I don't know if it was. In Marvel, though, I would have to go with Maria Hill second. She's really big on her career, but I feel like she'd be a good wife.
Isn't that Robin?
Yes, it is from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
She's pretty good, very talented. Scourge says that next year is going to be a good year for Transformers collectors. I don't know about that. Do you, Amir?
Well, I mean, depends. Like for 86 movie, I think it's this year. If you're like, depends which generation of Transformer person you are. Right? Are you Beast Wars? Are you 86 movie? G2? Like, where are you here? Because like each group hates the other group. It's just weird.
That is interesting. Well, I mean, this year was the 86 year, I would say, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're having Bumblebee and Optimus, and so you can't have enough Bumblebees and Optimus, as we know, Matt.
Well, I think you can. It turns out. Do you know who you can't have enough of? Jada Toy Street Fighters. Every time I think I over-ordered them, they sell out.
I don't know. It's just because it's such a new line and it blew up so well. It's really hard to predict how well it is.
I had somebody try to order 10 Dowlisms today. They got that fraud alert, so I was like, refund, not even playing with this. They never even replied, so it must have been fraud. Like, who's army building Dowlism? Listen, you're telling me I don't understand.
Make it
what
sound like it's a Daoism.
What's that?
Daoism? That's what you're calling it?
What do you call it?
Well, I call it something else, but Dalsum is supposed to be how you.
Oh, yeah, that sounds more accurate, actually, now that you say it. Well, it looks like
I called, because he released with Bison, I called him like balsamic vinegar or something like that. It was like we're like, we got the Bison and Dials balsamic and vinegar, like that was what I would call it, but Dalsum I think was the actual name.
That's interesting. I think my most like anticipated from that line though are Zangief and the green guy from Brazil. What's his name?
Blanca.
All I can think of
the green guy is called Blanca.
All I can think of is like the announcer in Sega Genesis 2, where he's like, Brazil. Do you ever see that movie?
Street Fighter? Yeah, of course I watched that.
I don't know. It wasn't a good movie, but I kind of liked it.
I loved it, especially like I love
That's
the greedy characters at the end who were like doing it all for the money. Then they had the treasure chest at the very end, and they open it up. It's like bison dollars. It's like defunct currency.
I remember that anytime after COVID, when anyone asked me when I was going to get a real job again, I would always send them the clip of John Claude saying, "I'm not going home." That's my main takeaway.
Oh, my favorite. Okay, actually, my most favorite. Like I like to say the scene a lot is when Chun Li like confronts Bison, and he's like,
Bryson, yep, great
"For you,
scene.
the day Bison graced your village was the greatest day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday." Like,
Yes. That's one of the all-time best bad guy lines, man. It really is. I might, if I ever write like a comic book or a book, I'm stealing that. Like unabashed. Don't care.
the day I destroyed your village, and your country was burnt to smithereens.
Yeah. For me, it
You,
was
it was
Wednesday.
a historic day. For me, it was Tuesday.
Yep. No, I'll change the day for copyright infringement.
Mm. That's my regular Wednesday afternoon.
Whenever my book comes out, you guys keep an eye out for that in Barnes and Nobles this week or not. Probably not. Well, Amir, it's been almost 2 hours. I think we better call it a night. You got some good content here that you'll be able to steal and throw up to try to get monetized
Yes.
with.
If you missed this video clips, I'll be cutting it up and putting it on my channel next.
Yeah. You should probably go watch it there so Amir can get the last of his so we can get monetized.
Yeah, I'm like, I reached the amount of subscribers. I think I'm at 1,000 something, like 500 or 700. And there's like, okay, now you just need to waste 4,000 hours of watch time. Like, oh, well, I only make like 5-minute clips. So, and like my last 3 videos were longer. So then it like just spooned. I'm like, oh, I can actually make, because I get the views, but I don't have long content. So
Well,
this
think
is
about it
one
this
of the
way,
long
Amir.
content I'll use.
This is 2 hours, so you need to get what 2,000 people to watch this.
Well, I only need actually like 100 hours of watch. So I just need like 100 people to watch 10 minutes each.
100 people to watch half, but close. Well, everybody, as you are aware, you do have to get old. You don't have to grow up, but you do got to be cool and stay nerdy. Peace out, Cub Scout, and remember.